I'll put that spring back on. I'll just put the spring on and we'll get on with the next bit. Okay, it's on. Takes a lot of strength to do that. If you're inexperienced at doing that, you're going to damage some knuckles and stuff, so you're probably better off using some vice grips, you know, with the lock, so you can actually get some power and hold it there without getting too much trouble. Anyway, you don't need to do that today. So we've screwed our piston back in, but the adjuster back into zero position. So what we want to do now is just quickly flick these brake pads out, like so. And out like that. And now you see you can't get the rotor off because this cage is here. Alright, so what you need to do is there's two bolts here. So one there and one there. And 13mm again, and you'll need to either use a hammer, or sometimes you can use like a double spanner like so, and give it a bit of a tweak until it's loose. And once you've got that, take the weight of it. Take your two bolts out and remove this. Okay, so now there's two little sliding pins here, and that actually helps the caliper centralize and equalize, so you get equal wear on both shoes. Okay, sorry, both brake pads. So what we need to do now is take these little boots off, and you just pull on and try and get the little rubber lip to come out, like so, and it pops out, and one of them is steel and the other one is a bit harder to get out once you've worked on it. Because it's vacuumed in there basically. Okay, that's it. Okay, and that pulls out. Right, these pins here, this one's got a little rubber thing on there to actually seal it in. If you get them mixed up, this one will be very, very difficult to get in the other hole. Alright, they're both the same length, if you have a look at them. But what you've got to do is basically clean them all out with some brake clean, like so. Give it a good, like, pull them out, give them a good spray, and then use some proper caliper grease, and apply some grease onto the pins, and on both of them. And then what you do is you've got to take the seal off, kind of over the end of the pin, like so, and then sit it in the hole and slot it into the guide so it pops in like so. Put your pin in, then push it down so far, and then pull this end up and clip it into place, and that's how you get that nice and smooth like so. And you do the same with this one. So you unseal it, pull it up over the pin so that the pin's sticking in like this, insert the rubber into the seat so it's all nice and sitting in there, insert the bolt, the sliding pin, and then pull it up over the top of that lip there, and that's all sitting in there nicely. Okay, so they should be sitting in there all good, and you'll feel that they're nice and smooth. Now that'll do a lot to stop squealing in your brakes, because it actually will allow you to centralise easier. Okay, yeah, so then the rotor comes off like so, and that's it. It's all done. So when you get these new rotors, I've shown you in another video, which I'll insert about now, and in the video you've just seen, it shows you how to compare the old rotor to the new rotor. Something you do need to do, all of these rotors come out with, when they're new, with a light oil film on them to prevent corrosion, and what you've got to do is you've got to spray the heck out of it with brake clean, which I've already done. You just give it a burst like so. That's it, at both sides, until there's no grease coming off it. Alright, and then you can put it on, and then if you get a little bit of dirt on your hands and a little bit of dirt on it, once you've got it assembled, you can put it all together. Give it another spray, I mean. Alright, so we've backed off this adjustment here. So what we need to do is reassemble it. Now what I use is copper coat. I don't know what you guys call it in America, but I use copper coat. And what I do is, it's a copper coating material, and you just put a little bit on the threads like so. Just put a little dip on, and then, you know, run it up the threads like that, and do it on all of them. And what that does is, one, it helps you to put it back together, and two, it makes it very, very easier for someone else to work on it later on in life. You know, it's not going to seize up like you've had to pull it apart, because I guarantee you it won't come apart as easy as I've just shown you there. You'll be working quite hard to get it. Okay, so what you've got to do now is, with your rubber grease, your caliper grease, is where any steel contact of the caliper comes against the lining or shoe, I've put a little bit of grease on it, and you don't put too much on, because if it squeezes out and it gets into the brake pads, you're buggered. So the same here is what I've done is I've cleaned this one up. But what you can do to make it so that they centralise a bit better, and I'll actually do this now, is get a piece of emery tape, like so. I've got some 60 grade here, and where the actual brake calipers go through the shoe, through the carrier, just give it a clean up. You can also use a wire brush. And same on the other face over here. give it a bit of a spray. And then what I do is I put a bit of grease. I dry it off with a rag. That will evaporate off. But I put a bit of grease, caliper grease, just in those little grooves there, just like so. Not too much, just a smear, just to reduce any friction at all. Because you've got a steel to steel, it doesn't move a lot, but any help to help it move will be excellent. And same with where the caliper, the piston touches the shoe. Put a little bit on there too. So you don't want to put so much in it squeezes out and goes into the other face over this side, where all the hard work's done, because that'll cause big dramas. Okay. So basically put together in reverse. This here goes like so. Slides over the top of the see, I've got a little bit on there now, see? That's what happens when you put too much on. So you just got to clean that up so that there's no grease at all going to touch the face. Okay, so that's ready to go on, and that just sits in behind here and goes down in there and sits over there like so. Now we get our bigger threaded 13mm, not the small ones, the big one, the coarse thread, and that goes into the top hole. Just stick it in the top hole and just get one lined up and just get it started. Just get that one started. And get on to the next one. Okay, that's on started. Right, now we're going to tighten it up. Probably want to be about 35 foot-pounds on there. I can just feel that. You don't want to put so much on that you snap the bolt. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now when you put this in, pretty sure it's going to go like that. So now, because we're back to, we've got to put our brake shoes in, rushing ahead here. So we've got the one with the two marks on from this side of the caliper, that goes on this side, and the big wide open face goes to the outside, so that slides in inside the caliper like so, and then down and slide it in. Same with the back side. Big face goes to the outside of the caliper. That's it. Let's double check to make sure it's all sitting in there nicely, and it is. Just wipe your hands with a rag. Try not to touch this rotor at all if you can possibly help it. And then we get the caliper, make sure it's lined up. That there's lined up here with 90, like straight up and down here, and then carefully put it in like so. But before we do that, I've taken the brake off.